Hello, Candace. Man, it must really suck to have the name Candace. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys. Now, to get it out of the way, yes, I'm sick. I don't know if you could tell by my voice. You're going to have to deal with it the whole time. You know, I'm a little bit nasally. I don't fuck you. I don't care. Can I say the F word? But anyway, a while back, I reviewed the wonderful movie Hoodwinked. And I'll be honest, it definitely exceeded my expectations. You know, it's one of those movies you watch when you're a kid. You love it back then. You think when you grow up, it's probably not that good. It was pretty good. I honestly enjoyed it a little bit better when I was an adult. The movie really just had so many good moments. And yeah, you know, the animation kind of sucked. You know, it looks like what's the word for it? Shit. But there's a lot of witty comedy in this movie. The mystery was very engaging, and the dialogue was just solid. There were some fourth wall breaks that were pretty funny, some self-aware jokes. It was just all around a very enjoyable movie. But just like all things in the world that are great, something has to come along and ruin it. And in this instance, it's a sequel. Hoodwinked 2. Hood vs. Evil.
Not all fairy tales go by the book.
And also, I don't really know why they did 2, like why they spelled it like T-O-O instead of just putting the number 2, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, even in the movie, it doesn't really make sense. So let's just talk about the good things, and then I'm gonna watch the movie with you guys because it's a ride. It's a treat. So the good parts of the movie. There's some funny parts. Emphasis on some funny parts. And there's the cast. You know, the cast is pretty good. The voice acting's pretty good. We have the original cast of the first one. We have Hayden Panettiere, Patrick Warburton, Glenn Close. But wait, there's more. In Hoodwinked 2, they brought along even more huge names like Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong are in this movie. Now, how the hell can a movie fail with a star-studded cast like this? Well, I mean, bad writing. That's all the good parts of this movie. You know, a couple funny parts. The cast. That's about it. Now, the main problem with this movie is just the fact that there is just way too much going on. See, what made the original movie so good is the fact that everything takes place in a small house in the forest. And throughout the movie, we all try to piece together this mystery. I feel like when you limit the area, and not only the area, but the amount of characters, the story becomes a lot easier to tell, and it can be written way better. Whereas in this movie, we're at a secret agent facility, then we are at a secret society of red hooded ninjas, where there are even more new characters. Then we are in a city where there's more new characters. Now we're on top of Jack's Beanstalk, where there's more characters. Now we're in a castle. There's just too much going on. And I genuinely don't care. I just stopped caring about all the new characters. I honestly stopped caring about the regular characters.
Let's go golfing. Let's go golf.
Now, I get a lot of comments about my facial hair. Well, you see, there's a specific part of my face that grows in faster than the other part of my face. I don't really know why it's like that, but it's also where my birthmark is located. But I want to talk to you today about how I solved my problem with Henson shaving. Now, I've been through my fair share of razors, and personally, I don't like them. I just don't like razors. So I was a little bit skeptical about taking this, but I'm not gonna lie. This is the smoothest shave. This razor is made using CNC machines. This is aerospace standards, baby. For those people who don't know what that means, I don't really know what that means either. Basically, it means the blade is held very, very tight in this. It is very well supported, which is something that tends to lack when it comes to other brands. A lot of other brands, the blades kind of end up moving around a little bit, whereas this, it's tight, it's comfy, and it's solid. And with that support, it holds a perfect 30-degree angle for that pristine shave. And on top of that, the Henson AL13, which is what I have right here, is completely plastic free. All you have to do is take one of your very, very sharp, be careful, very, very sharp Henson stainless steel razor blades, slap it onto the thing, plop the thing onto the thing, and then you twist the thing. Boom, bam, you got yourself a beautiful razor. Well, I'm gonna be honest to you, you could go to any one of your regular superstores and get your generic brand razor blades, and yeah, it's definitely gonna be cheaper. I'm sure a lot of you know big businesses love making extremely cheap things, so it ends up breaking or just not working, and then you come right back and buy another one of them. Cost to own and operate an AL13 is, in the long run, cheaper. Do yourself a favor, click that link in the description, and you could get 100. That's right, 100 stainless steel blades. This will last you a long time. A long time. So the movie starts out with just a black screen and just showing the names of the cast. They really, really wanted to make sure that you're looking at who the cast is, making sure to grip you into this movie, getting you excited that all these big name actors are gonna be in. And I don't know why, it's still so funny to me just seeing Cheech and Chong at the beginning of this movie. So like the first movie, we get the whole fairy tale book opening, we get a little bit of a recap of the original movie, and then we find out that Red is on hiatus because she is getting trained by the Sisters of the Hood. I guess it's just like a ninja place where they teach self-defense against wolves. I'm still confused on that thing. And because she's on hiatus, that means that the team, because apparently now there's a team, has a little bit of a conflict going on because Wolfie's not happy about Red leaving. So basically all the main cast of the original movie are working for the spy company that helps happily ever afters happen. And the first mission that we see is them trying to save Hansel and Gretel from the evil witch, you know, that classic thing. And I'm just going to mention it. I don't know what is going on with the lip syncing in this movie.
Poor kids are going to become baked goods any minute now. I need you to concentrate on what's going on here.
Because the animation still is complete ass, but it is I guess a tiny upgrade from the original. I don't know, maybe it's not. But it looks like this movie was created for a different language and then it was overdubbed with English just by how their mouths are moving. And throughout the entirety of this mission, all Wolf is doing is just whining and complaining that Red isn't there.
Looks like Red's a no-show again.
Froggy, what's the story on Red Riding Road? Okay, if you want to reassign Red, it's your agency.
Thank you.
What at Granny Dynamite with Red Gun, I need to step up.
Which I don't really get because like in the first movie, they didn't really like each other at all. And now all he's talking about is how he wants her with them. I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense. But we really need to drive home the main conflict of this movie. So anyway, Wolf and Twitchy end up just kind of going in on their own without Granny and royally fucks up the entire mission. Then we get this entire chase scene. Granny's chasing down the evil witch who captured Hansel and Gretel. And something else that this movie struggles from is obviously they introduce a shitload of new characters, but they always have to show a character from the old movie. Like every single character from the original movie will be in this, no matter how small. They're going to shove it in here. For example, the singing goat, the yodeling goat, remember that in the original movie? His entire purpose in this movie is just he sings a little bit and then he gets hurt by something. And that's like the joke that happens throughout the movie. I think he has like 5 different sections in the movie where he sings a little bit and then he gets sat on, maybe he gets exploded, you know, something like that. So anyway, Granny gets taken by the witch and Wolf's like, oh man, I wish Red were here. And then we find out where Red is. She's on a bridge trying to carry sweets across the bridge and there's a giant green ogre that she's trying to get across the bridge, and the ogre is just a stereotype with an attitude.
No, you did not just say that. I did not hear that. There ain't no way my bridge is being caught by some mother-delivered, red hood wearing, fair tale cliche little girl.
And something weird is every character looks exactly the same except Red. I don't know why they changed her character design. So anyway, she gets past this ogre by bungee jumping down to catch her sweets. She flips over the ogre. The ogre calls her Granny a stinky poo-poo mouth.
What did you just say?
She comes back, beats the shit out of the ogre. Her sweets fall, and then the sister comes out. She's like, you failed. You failed. And what the hell is up with this goofy run from Red? Like, looks like Shaggy over here.
Zoinks! Zoinks! Zoinks!
And this seems like one of those character moments where it's like, oh, she fucked up in the beginning because she would rather beat someone up, and she's going to learn from her experiences in the future, and then it's going to be a callback to the situation, and she's going to do better. No, that doesn't happen. It's a callback, but she does the same thing. So apparently this is just a secret society of sisters who cook and wear hoods and fight people. And I guess that's where Granny came from, because her granny is like, you know, the top dog when it comes to this place. And that's why Red is here to train. See, this whole like storyline with the sisterhood and crap is so stupid. I hate it. And it's not silly in a funny haha good way. It's silly in a why? Yo, Red, what are you doing? What is this step? So then we just jump straight to the whole secret super powerful recipe that could give someone immortality and super strength and superpowers, because why not? I guess that's it. Because the Sisterhood is here to protect the super powerful recipe, the Krusty Krab secret formula, in order to stop evil people from, you know, making the recipe and becoming immortal. Oh no, it's gone! But it's gone! Oh no! Oh boy, oh man. Oops. So we also find out that the secret ingredient is never written down. The only way you can get the secret ingredient is if you train hard enough, and then you just know the secret ingredient. I guess that's it. And then we find out that the bad guys, or at least the bad witch lady, ended up kidnapping Granny in order to force her to make this secret epic truffle superpowered item that can make her immortal. So she shows Granny that she has the recipe, and she also has captured Hansel and Gretel. So Granny's obviously in a bit of a dilemma. So Red comes back to the HEA, which stands for Happily Ever After. She starts arguing with Wolf. Obviously, that's going to be the main, like, fissure in the whole movie. And then we get to meet my favorite character in the entire movie, the Giant.
Need you every day, you like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging down. To the floor, to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we're gonna make a child. Then we gon' hit.
So now we're in New York City, I guess. And also, remember the schnitzel guy from the first movie? The dude who likes selling schnitzel? Yeah, he's like a big-time singer now. He's a big-time yodeler in the city. Like I said, every character in the first movie is gonna make an entrance at some point. So now we go to Jack's Beanstalk. And apparently Granny knows the singer 10 Strings, who's just a harp who sings. And he sings absolutely terribly. I don't understand why they, like, giga auto-tune the shit out of this character. But it is atrocious how bad it is.
I'm jacking the magic beans.
And this is the fastest interrogation I've ever seen in my life. She walks up to him and says, "Hey, I know Granny." He's like, "Oh, okay, let me tell you everything." No questions, no like, "Hey, can you verify the fact that you know Granny?" All she says is, "I know Granny," and he just straight up spills all the beans to her. And then we meet the Giant, who is, you know, the Giant in Jack and the Beanstalk. We're kind of just throwing a bunch of fairy tales into this movie. They're really trying to just be Shrek at this point. And this character is just, I genuinely have no words. I have no words for this character, or at least this specific scene.
Did you just laugh at me?
So Red goes up there, he starts getting angry, so Wolf comes up with a beard and top hat, and obviously you guys know how movies like this work. It just works. His disguise works. He makes the Giant laugh. Everything's good. And so they try to steal 10 Strings. Obviously there's a chase scene, and it is just some of the most batshit crazy stuff I've seen. Now it's time for the part of the video to put on your 3D goggles, guys, because we got ourselves a 3D moment. Wow. It's like they're coming at me. Not on, it was weird. Also, I forgot to mention, the Giant is just a mafia Italian stereotype, and he even says that he's gonna grind up their bones to make his pasta fazool.
Grind up their bones to make my pasta fazool.
So they are falling down this like 10-mile high beanstalk, surviving every time they land, and all at the same time the Giant's chasing him, the rhinos are chasing him, they're interrogating 10 Strings, asking him questions, and guess who they find out is the quote-unquote bad guy, but not really the bad guy. He's just the bad guy for literally 5 seconds in the movie, and he's gone. It's fucking Boingo, the character from the first movie. And the only reason they have Boingo in the movie is just for a reference of the first movie, and they made a goddamn Hannibal Lecter reference.
Hello, Clarice.
Who's Clarice?
And he also makes a self-aware joke in this. There's a decent amount of self-aware jokes. So apparently Boingo is the one who's been getting the ingredients for the witch to make, you know, the recipe. That's literally all he does in the movie, and that's it. But they grab the book and he says, no one reads books. Everyone watches movies, especially sequels.
Movies are always better, especially sequels.
At least in the first one, some of the self-aware jokes were pretty good. These ones are just straight up like in your face and are just put in there just to be in there. So they find out that the cleaning lady who walked right past them was actually the witch. They go outside and now the witch is in the air flying around. The transition from them like being inside, finding out that it was the witch, to just appearing like a mile away from where they were, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of the shit doesn't make any sense. So anyway, after the witch gets away, Red and Wolf have a little bit of a spat. She's like, yeah, if you're the one who let my grandma get taken. And he's like, yeah, but you weren't there in the first place. And she's like, yeah, you suck. And then he's like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I suck. I suck. I'm the worst. I'm you know, see you later. And then he just walks away. It is so funny how the facial expressions just never match their emotions.
That's not what I meant.
So anyway, Wolf quits the HEA along with Twitchy, so it's just up to Red in order to figure out where Granny is and try to save the day. So we go back to Granny. She uses her super epic spy skills to sneak out and go and find Hansel and Gretel in order to save them. Oh, but there was a twist. Hansel and Gretel are actually the bad guys. What? Oh, fuck. What a twist. And then they say the greatest line in cinema history.
You've been hoodwinked, too!
They said the title. They said the title in the movie. That basically is the certification that this movie slaps right there. And then we find out who the witch is. It's Verushka, who apparently was friends with Granny in the past. And this part I hate so much. They talk about their backstory. And I'm not going to lie. This is one time I was a little bit interested to hear like why Verushka ended up turning into a bad guy. Starts telling her story about how Granny was always better at her than everything. She was always second place to her, blah, blah, blah. Stops it mid-monologue and says, why are you telling me this? I've heard all this before. Oh, come on. This is my big villain moment. And then they recap what she already said. It honestly pissed me off how annoying this part was.
Abigail, this is my big super evil villain moment. Where was I? Started at the sisterhood, always number 2. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm not even joking. I was actually interested in the backstory a little bit. They do a self-aware humor joke, you know, the whole villain monologue is bad type dealio, but it was done so poorly that it just completely bogged down the scene and just completely ruined it. This is what I was talking about, where like the self-aware jokes and humor in this movie just never lands. But basically we find out the only reason she's evil is because she got second place to Abigail, who is Granny. That's it. That's her only motivation of hating her, because she was the one who was able to create the perfect truffle when she wasn't. And then, oh boy, oh, the next part's so good. So it's just Red in the big city, the big app, and all she has for a lead to find her Granny is a little patch of shirt that says DCT. And she goes, oh, I'm sure this isn't going to be hard to find. Apparently, every business in the entirety of the city is labeled DCT. And then we get a goddamn montage song. And the song is just so bad. It's like one of those songs that are just kind of saying what's happening in the movie. Walking by myself. It really reminds me of that like early 2000s Disney Channel movie songs. It's got the muted guitar chords. It's got the basic drum beat with the girl singing about how, you know, hard life is and stuff. And all she does is just go around the city and then just hold up the DCT thing at every single person, and no one could figure out what it means anywhere. And then we find out that DCT means Dark Castle Towers, and it is the biggest building in the city. So that was the joke, was that the building was extremely easy to find, yet we had an entire song and montage about how she couldn't find it. So Red calls HEA, and apparently, somehow, Hansel and Gretel are able to tap into the phone lines of the HEA and Red, and they hear literally all of their plans. Never explained how they do it or why. And then they end up raiding HEA with a bunch of little pigs. It's supposed to be, you know, the 3 little pigs, but apparently there's a little bit more than 3. They actually get the original 3 little pigs later on, and it's a whole other thing. So the HEA agency all got, you know, deleted. Everyone's gone and captured. So it's just Red against the world. So then we go back to Wolf and Twitchy. Apparently they are just living their lives out in the middle of the woods in a trailer. And Twitchy, I guess, got the Riz. He got the squirrel Riz, I get. All right. So Wolf has a talk with Twitchy, and they're like, yeah, we should probably go back and help Red. I just love how there's like no rhyme or reason why things happen. They literally just sat down and talked and like, you know what? We should probably go help Red. Yeah, well, let's go help Red. Oh yeah, then the 3 little pigs appear and shoot a goddamn bazooka at Wolf's trailer to try to kill him. And guess who voices 2 of the 3 little pigs? You guessed it, Cheech and Chong. Their Cheech and Chong thing where they just are Cheech and Chong. So Red is climbing up this super tall tower. She gets up like 20 stories. Somehow a window just comes off of the entire building. It's like not attached to anything. It just comes off. And then she survives a 20-story fall directly onto a pig. That happens. And yeah, she got captured. She got caught. And Wolf heads back to HEA in order to connect with Red and, you know, help her out. And he finds out that the HEA's been ransacked. And somehow Mr. Flipper is just there. Like, I don't know how they didn't capture him, because I thought that was like the whole reason of them doing that is to get rid of them. But they leave the main dude of the HEA there. Like even earlier, we saw him getting attacked by like 3 or 4 pigs. Like how is he still out? I don't know. The Wolf ends up helping Red. They beat up all the pigs, which I guess Cheech and Chong just voices every single pig. God, Hansel and Gretel's faces are just so disturbing and bad. And then we get another just completely ridiculous part that makes no sense, that brings in old characters from the original movie. So the Schnitzel guy, the one who's like famous now, somehow they were able to get backstage into his room and talk to him. And guess what? I guess him and the yodelers are all like mercenaries. Just I guess because plot. Like I have no idea. Like they probably haven't talked in years. They weren't even like good friends back then. And he meets them and he's like, yeah, all my yodelers are mercenaries. We can help you get inside that tower and save your grandma. Like just out of nowhere. So they end up going into the castle to the tune of Everybody's Kung Fu Fighting. Yeah, they really ended up using that song, didn't they? So Red, Wolf, and Twitch get to the top level. They end up seeing Hansel and Gretel. Don't realize that they're actually bad. So Red tells Wolf to go take Hansel and Gretel while she deals with the witch and save Granny. Wolf, Twitchy, and Hansel and Gretel get in the elevator, and apparently they end up gassing him to pass out. And so Red, right, think about this, right? We're in the middle of an evil lair, a death trap, basically. She goes in, sees a bunch of kitchen utensils, see this batter.
Hey, yo, is this poop?
She doesn't know what it is, doesn't know if it's poisonous, doesn't know if it's good, if it's bad. Just tastes it. Just goes up, gets a fingerful, and tastes it. And then they make a Star Wars reference. He's about to try this truffle, which, by the way, I have no idea how she even knows that this is the truffle batter.
Luke, trust the Force.
What?
It makes no sense. Like, it doesn't work here. Why did you put that there? So she tastes it and whispers to herself, macadamia nut. Because she is I guess, sisterhood enough to realize that it's the missing ingredient, the secret ingredient is just macadamia nuts. Boo, shut up. Boo. Boo, I'm recording. Shut up. You've been chirping. So much. And so obviously they knew that she was going to do this, I guess, somehow. Overheard her say macadamia nuts. Now they know the secret ingredient to the super all-powerful truffle. And I don't get it, because Granny's the only one who was able to make the recipe. However, whenever they figured out it was macadamia nut, they had a goddamn conveyor belt of like 10 different truffles. What? How? How? So anyway, Hansel and Gretel eat the truffles, and then they turn into big Hansel and Gretel. And then they say that they're going to sell these truffles to all the other villains in the area in order to make them super powerful and also super rich. So I guess now there's just a giant spider. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is a giant spider that they gotta fight. Okay. And right when the spider's about to eat him, guess who shows up? Kirk, the schnitzel guy, and all of his yodelers. And then Granny and Red both yodel. Oh God, it's so painful. It's awful. It's awful. Oh God. So the witch, or Verushka, almost falls to her death, but Granny saves her, you know, because like character development, because they were friends in the past. Blah blah blah. No one cares. So then Red jumps out of a 100-story building, basically, and I guess her cape doubles as a parachute. I didn't know that was a thing. So right now, their main goal is stopping, you know, Giga Hansel and Gretel. And when she fights Hansel and Gretel, you know that fight on the bridge with the ogre? She basically uses every single same thing that she did with the ogre, but now, zero relevancy or character development to that situation. She just uses the same moves and that's it. Then we had this stupid moment where they're in a bus and they're sitting on top of like the highest point in the tower. And then Red and Wolf are like doing a thing where they have to balance the bus, but they have to gradually step closer together. And they're also at the same time apologizing to each other. And it's like a, you know, waiting for my bird to shut the fuck up. Just gonna wait. And then, you know, they get close and they make up, but then the bus falls anyway. And then apparently Verushka now commands the spider, the Giga Spider. And then the Giga Spider made a web so they wouldn't die. And they landed in the web. You know, come on, guys, you know. And then we have Red do her, you know, the thing she did in the beginning where Hansel and Gretel are saying something mean to her. She turns around, tries to fight him, doesn't work, and that's it. Like, I don't understand why there was a callback. Like, there was no difference. Nothing changed. Nothing was better. She didn't learn anything. I don't understand that part. But anyway, the way they were able to beat Hansel and Gretel, it's just make them eat all the truffles, and they got fat. They got so fat they couldn't move. That's how they beat them. Game over. They win. And then at the end of the movie, they had this whole thing where there's like a police radio thing said, 2092 and the 1455, 64. And they're like, huh. Well, I guess we're the suicide. What are we? Some kind of Hoodwinked 2? And then the gang gets back together or something. Roll credits. Roll credits. Oh, brilliant movie. Absolutely brilliant. Well, that's Hoodwinked 2. A goddamn mess of I don't even know what. Like, don't get me wrong. The original Hoodwinked technically isn't like an amazing movie, right? But it had character. It had style. It was a classic. All they did in this movie is just try to ride on the coattails of what was good about the original movie. But everything was just thrown together. Garbage. All the fourth wall breaks, self-aware jokes just didn't hit. It is not good. It was bad. It was a bad movie. Bad movie. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe right now. Do it. Like, it's really not that hard. Just click the goddamn button, you stupid, dumb. Like, look at you sitting there in your shorts, your red shirt. Like, why? What are you doing with your life? Not subscribing to me. It's cringe. You want to be cringe? You want to be a loser the rest of your life? No. Subscribe.